Fourth point, as the hadith states, the minimum number of days for a woman to be ha'id is 3 days. She has to see blood that is continuous for at least 3 days. If she saw blood for 2.5 days, and then it stopped. Let's say for several hours, for half a day, for an entire day, and then on the 4th, 5th day, she saw blood again. That's not hayd. In order for hayd to be established, she has to see blood for at least 3 continuous days.
So that's a medical condition.
A medical condition? What do you mean?
Like if not 3 days continuous?
Well, it could be a medical condition, but religiously we don't consider it hayd. It could be a normal condition. It doesn't have to be necessarily a medical condition. But in that case, she would pray, she would just consider herself not in hayd. It has to be continuous for 3 days. Now, when we say continuous for 3 days, we don't mean, the scholars don't mean that for 3 days she has to see, excessive non-stop blood. No. If there are traces of blood that are detectable, that's considered the presence of blood. If the blood completely stops, that breaks the hayd. So at least 3 days, the blood must continue for hayd to be established. What's the maximum number of days? 10. So hayd could be 7 days maximum, between 3 and 10. Nothing less than 3, nothing more than 10. We'll examine the different laws that apply to this. The fifth point that the author mentions is what we discussed, that you need at least a gap of 10 days of purity between 2 cycles. So if the next cycle, for whatever reason, comes earlier than that, earlier than 10 days after being pure from the previous cycle, that's not considered a religious cycle, even if she sees blood with the same features and specifications. At least 10 days have to pass for us to consider the next cycle hayd. That's the fifth point that the author addresses over here. Now there's